Hey, my name is Andy and today I've just bought myself a 2003 Mercedes CLK. Let's go. Now before you guys worry and panic, no, I have not sold Fred. Fred is still here, he's somewhere over there. He's still happy, he's still around, but I've also added this car to my lineup. I got this car for a great deal from a friend, and in fact, I actually bought this car off the exact same guy I bought the Jag off. That's right, I bought it from Matt. Matt only had this car for around 48 hours before I bought it off of him. The first owner ordered it in 2002 and it took a year to build this car. Now we're gonna get into the details as to why, but I'm sure you can already tell by the front bumper and the upgraded wheels, this is no standard car. And no, those are not aftermarket parts. This car is entirely factory. I'm gonna show you a little montage of what this thing looks like in 3, 2, 1. So to kick off this Doug DeMuro style video, let's start with the external features of the car, including the AMG body kit. Yes, that's right. This car comes with AMG rims, AMG front bumpers, back bumpers, the whole nine. That is all factory ordered. None of that was aftermarket. None of that was riced out. This car is actually one owner. It went from the first owner. Matt owned it for about 48 hours and it went straight into my name. I'm the second owner of this car. Because this is a CLK 240, it means we have a 2.6 liter V6. I know it says 240, but it's actually a 2.6. Great little engine in there. Might have an oil leak, but we'll get to that, and we'll actually be fixing that in an upcoming video, so make sure you subscribe to see that when it comes out. Quick little side note as well, when I'm driving Fred out and about in public, that gets a lot of attention, a lot of smiles, waves, people notice the car. When I drive this, I get nothing. But let me show you the inside, because like I said, this thing is special order, which means we get AMG seats. That's right, we've got red inserts, red stitching. It's a CLK 240, so this is all manual, not electric. But we also have the aluminium inserts, automatic headlights, standard. This doesn't have automatic wipers, but it was available. Now, look in the center here. Mercedes was kind of known for this. Their floating needle. Digital fuel gauge and digital temperature gauge. That is also really cool. My friend here has just handed me my seatbelt. This is known as a seatbelt butler. When I plug the seatbelt in, watch what happens. He goes away. In here, we have the Mercedes command. Let's turn her on. Surprisingly, this system works perfectly. There is no screen glitching. The nav works. Every single function works. Telephone, well, that would work, but I no longer have a phone that fits this slot. So, we won't worry about that. I'm sure it still works. Now, the coolest thing on here, TV. That's right, this car had TV. My mom had one of these cars when I was younger. She would actually watch the tennis while driving along. Now, truthfully, that's quite dangerous, so the system would blank the screen out while you're driving. Now, another awesome feature was the optional CD changer. That's right, in here, you have a Mercedes 6 CD changer with ejectable magazine. Now, you might be thinking, well, how do you know what CD is what, because they're all unlabeled? Well, thankfully this command system is super advanced, so you are actually able to label the CDs. So that's Calvin Harris Funk Wave, but if we go into the CD select, we've got Funk Wave, Post Malone, bit of G-Eazy, and there is some Calvin Harris in there. Back in the day, there was no such thing as Spotify. This was 2003. The coolest thing about it was you could actually press shuffle and it could shuffle through songs on all 6 CDs. I think that that is a really underrated feature of this car. Another one is the dual zone climate control. That's right, even though this one is the oldest system, it's not digital, you've got passenger and driver climate. Another little bizarre thing down in this region is this gear selector here looks pretty normal, but it's got a kind of manual Tiptronic mode, which is sideways. So you stick it into drive, and then to shift up, you go, and down, same thing. Little bit bizarre, but it works. I haven't had any problems with it. I know that those are expensive to fix when they go wrong, but thankfully it has not done so. One thing that you'll be very familiar with is the Mercedes key of the time. That's right, it has this weird digital looking thing with the little sensor in the top. All black, very plasticky, very cheap. Not a bad key. Bit ugly though. They could have made that look better. Come on. Now that I've shown you some of the cooler features on this car, let's get into the reason why it was so cheap. Yeah, this car is not exactly problem-free. Thankfully, the list isn't massive, but to start with, let's pop the bonnet. Unfortunately, I feel like that's a reoccurring theme on this channel. The first and main problem with this car is the oil leak. It might not be immediately obvious right away because Mercedes love to throw their plastic in there, but if we get down in here, now you can start to see what I mean. Close that up. Inside, the problems continue some more. So this button here is famous in most Mercedes. That drops the rear headrest. It is not connected or doesn't work, or I don't know, it's just broken. So I just leave them down, not a really big deal. The steering wheel adjuster, so you pull it out and there's something that has snapped or disconnected or something, and so the steering wheel no longer adjusts. You can do it manually. You just remove the side panel and you can lock and unlock it, but once you find your position, you kind of just leave it there. Sometimes the parking brake doesn't always release and you have to like give it a good couple of tugs. And finally, the air conditioning only works on the passenger side. So they have nice cool aircon and I don't. Up here, there is a weird ticking flap in the AC unit that just doesn't want to close for some reason. And when you turn the car on, it ticks for the first 5 minutes and then it shuts up. I can't explain it, but have a listen to this. Thankfully, that seems to be all that's wrong with this car. Yeah, it could be a lot worse. Now let's go take this car out for a drive. Thank you. There we go. Boom. Oh yeah. A feature I forgot to mention about this car, which just stands out and is incredible, are the pillarless doors. That's right. We have full window. Just infinite amounts of space. Interestingly enough, Mercedes has put their wiper and lights function in the same stalk. They've got the cruise control here and then just nothing on this side, which makes using your wipers a little bit confusing the first time, but it's actually pretty intuitive and you do get used to it. Now this car has a custom AMG exhaust from the factory, which allows this V6 engine to breathe a little bit nicer. It's just nice. Right away, I can tell you that the steering in this is very responsive. The slightest movement makes such a difference when you're driving along, and it is so responsive. In there, we've got the floating needle, the red inserts, we've got a bit of Post Malone going. This is what it feels like to drive a Mercedes. You just look down on other motorists. Let's do the speed bump test. Speed bump, speed bump. Oh my God. I will admit, this car over speed bumps sucks. It is not like the Jag that just kind of wafts over them. It's very stiff. It's got the upgraded AMG Sports suspension, which I think is just code word for upgraded bumpy ride. Now, what do you think we should name this car? Comment down below. I'm gonna pick the best comments, put it to a vote, and that's what we'll name this car. Let me know. I'm thinking Ed, so that I can have Fred the Jag, Ed the Mercedes, Fred and Ed. It's a pretty easy combination for me, but if you have a better name, comment it down below. We'll put it to a vote and then we'll name this car. Anyway, that's about it from me today. If you guys enjoyed today's video, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and follow along on the journey, and I'll see you guys in the next video.